isolation of data and application means data is independent, application is independent. Data is independent and the software is independent. Okay, with the help of any software you can access the data. There is no link between data and application. Both of them are independent, they are isolated. Got it? Less redundancy means there is duplicate values are not stored. Okay, the same multiple values cannot be stored in the same database to reduce the size. Got it? Unnecessary information, wastage of memory. Got it? Consistency means before and after there should be a consistent values. Okay, that in the acid property I am going to discuss more about the consistency. Okay, then query language. With the help of query language you can access information. Okay, you can get any information from the database. Got it? So for the there are so many queries you can through query you can relate n number of tables, and from this table and from that table you combine and get some different value. Got it? So with the help of query language we can access the information, we can extract the information. Okay, then now we'll move to acid properties. Got it? Now acid properties. What is the meaning of this acid property? A stands for atomicity, C stands for consistency, I stands for isolation, and D stands for durability. A stands for atomicity. Okay, let me mark it. A stands for atomicity, C stands for consistency, and I stands for isolation, and D stands for durability. All these together we'll call it as a acid properties. Okay, if transaction takes place, all these things should take place: atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Okay, these concepts must be executed. These concepts are applied on transactions which manipulates the data in a database. See here now, what exactly atomicity is? Then what exactly consistency means? And what exactly the isolation and durability? Acid properties helps the database still healthy in a multi-transactional environment. See, if acid properties are not there and your transaction will not be ensured. Okay, whenever you do the transactions, transfer the amount from one account to another account, if the acid properties are not there, then you may get, suppose X is transferring amount to the Y. Okay, there may be a deduction in the X amount, X deposit, the total amount has been deducted. Okay, but it is not updated or added to the Y. Got it? So because of this acid property, now where all transactions are safe and healthy. Healthy means safe. We are happy to transfer online transactions and do all the transactions. Got it? So now we'll be discussing about what are these acid properties. Acid properties in database management means, see here now, A stands for atomicity. What is this atomicity? What is the meaning of this atomicity? The atomicity is one, either the entire transaction takes place at once. See here now, either the entire transaction takes place at once or doesn't happen at all. That is, transaction does not happen partially. What is the meaning of this? The entire transactions takes place at once. Example I will give you. Now the x, let me write it here. Let me write. Assume that there are transactions T1 and T2. This is the transaction T1 and transaction T2. There are two transactions. Now T is a transaction which is divided into two transactions. Okay. Then see here now, before transaction taking place, the person X is having, okay, before transaction, okay, he is having 500 rupees in his account. Okay, he is having 500 rupees, and Y is having 200 rupees. Okay, so before transaction taking place, X is having 500 and Y is having 200. Now what happens? In T1 what happens? It will read the, whenever, see here now, T1 is transferring amount to T2. He is transferring the amount T1 to T2. Okay, whenever he wants to transfer the amount from T1 to T2, your transactions first read the amount what is there in the X. Okay, X is having 500. Okay, first it will going to read X. Okay, first it will going to read the value of X. If amount is not there, if balance is 0 in the X amount, transaction will not going to take place, right? So first it will going to read the value of X, and here also in transaction T2 it will be reading what is that, what is there in that amount in the Y. It will going to read the Y. It will going to read Y. First transaction T1. In T1 what happens? It will read the value of X because you are transferring the amount from X to Y. Okay, assume that you are transferring 100 rupees. Assume that you are transferring 100 rupees. How much you are transferring? You are transferring 100 from X to Y. Okay, first it will going to read the value of X. X will be 500, and when you read the value of Y will be 200 because that is the initial amount which you have seen. Got it? And we are transferring 100 because it is X is having more than 100, so you can transfer 100 rupees. So what happens? X equals to what happens? 500 minus, or X minus 100. X minus 100. X is how much? 500. 500 minus 100. Okay, so that equals to 400. How much it is? 400. So 100 he has been transferred or deducted from the X accounts. Okay, now when it is deducted from this account, it has to be added to Y's account, right? So Y equals to Y plus Y plus 100. Y plus 100 because 100 is deducted from the X account. that 100 is added to Y's account. Okay, now this is the thing. Then after that it has to be saved. X has to be saved because write X. After transferring X from 100 from X account, the remaining X amount is saved in this. Okay, transaction T1. In T2 what happens? Same. This Y is saved. Right means saved. I don't have a writing pad. I am using the mouse pad, so I am not able to write it properly. Okay, and write Y. So Y is also saved and X is also saved. What is there in the X amount? 400. What is there in the Y amount? 200 plus 100, 300. Okay. Then after that, what is after transaction? Now transaction is completed. Okay. So after transaction, X equals to how much? X equals to 400. X equals to 400. After this, Y equals to how much? That is 200 plus 100, that is 300. 200 plus 100, 300. See here now. Atomicity means how many things we have done now. In T1 we have read the value of X. In T2 we have read the value of Y. In T1 we have deducted 100 from the existing amount, and in Y plus 100, existing amount plus 100. Okay, then whatever the amount is left at X is saved, and whatever the amount is left at stored in the Y is saved. Okay, after X, after the transaction X is 400, after the transaction Y is 300. See, all these things are one group of operations, group of transactions. It is treated as a one transaction. It is treated as one transaction. Assume that now X is deducted from 100 is deducted from X, and if it is not added to Y, then it is incomplete transaction. It is inconsistency. Sorry, it is not an atomicity, because it is saved. Transaction T1 is also saved and transaction T2 is also saved. Then only we will call it as it is complete transaction. So all these group of transaction operations, we are treated it as a single transaction. This is called as atomicity. If I am transferring 100 rupees from my account to Kiran, okay, see, assume that if it is 100 is deducted from my account, but if it is not added to Kiran's, okay, then it is not an atomicity. So it will, the complete transaction is not saved in the transaction. It is incomplete transaction. Got it? So this is what it is. All group of transactions, it is treated as a what? One transaction. One transaction. There are two things in the atomicity. There is one is abort and another one is commit. Abort means if amount is transferred or deducted from my account, and if it is not added to Kiran's account, okay, then it is called as abort. Abort means the transaction, complete transaction is not saved. It is what is original transaction that will be saved in both of account. Means it will not going to deduct. If it is deducted from my 100 is deducted from my account, but if it is not added, it is the transaction is abort. Abort means it will go for the previous transaction. Previous transaction means whatever it is amount is there at the before transaction, my what is that, in my account, it will be same. Whatever the amount is there at the current account before transaction, that will be saved. It will go for the initial state, initial transaction, initial thing. Got it? So this is called as abort. Even if it is 400 is transferred from my account, but and saved, and current account, if it is added, it is added to current account, but that current account is not saved, then also the transaction is aborted. Okay, it is abort. Abort means again it will go for again 100 rupees, I'll get it back, and amount 100 rupees is deducted from current account, and it will go for the original transaction statement. Okay, whatever that my account 500 will be there, and current account 200 will be there. Got it? So another one is commit. Commit means if the transaction is commits, changes made are visible. See here now, 100 rupees is deducted from my account and it is saved. Okay, even current is also got 100 rupees and it is saved. Then transaction is committed. Once the transaction is committed, and you will get the things, you will get the report, you are able to see the changes, you are able to see the changes. Otherwise you will not going to see any changes. Means the changes made in the transaction is visible. Otherwise you don't get changes. Sometimes if you go to ATMs and all, what happens, you are trying to withdraw amount from your account. Sometimes what happens, in the last 1 month before, in that which area it is, Manjunath Nagar, or near that this thing, there I tried to withdraw money from ATM. Actually I wanted to withdraw 2000. First time it was not happened. Immediately second time when I entered again 2000, I got 2000, but I got the receipt saying that 2 times 2000 has been deducted from my account. Immediately I called a bank manager and I asked, actually it was happened, I tried to withdraw money from the ATM. So actually I tried once, first time it was not, I did not get the money. Second time I got 2000, but I told that I got a receipt of deduction of 4000, 2 times 2 time. Okay, but he told, sir, within 24 hours or 48 hours your amount you will get that, that is that 2000 first time it was deducted, no, so that will be added to your account. Okay, that message you will going to get within 24 hours. I got that message. Got it? So it will going to happen. So once that is added back, then only it is a complete transaction. Otherwise it will not, it is not treated as a complete transaction. So this is called as atomicity. This is atomicity means unit. Okay, all these group of operations are called it as a one transaction. One transaction. This is called as atomicity. Any doubt in the atomicity, friends?
No, sir.
No doubt? Okay, then next we will have a C. C means consistency. The database must be consistent before and after the transaction. See here now, in this example, before this transaction, okay, now I'll ask any one of you, before this transaction, in this particular example, before the transaction takes place, what is the total value of X and Y? What is the total amount of the X and Y?
X is 500 and Y is 200, sir.
X is 500 and Y is 200. Okay, total is how much?
700, sir.
700. Okay, now see the after the transaction, what is the value of X?
400, sir.
400. What is the value of Y?
300.
300. If you add both of them,
7.
700. See the now,
Sir.
before the transaction it is also 700, after the transaction it is again 700. Got it? So it is consistence. This is called as a consistence. The database must be consistent before and after the transaction. If I am transferring my amount, assume that 10,000 is being transferred to you. Okay, so before you are having a 50,000 amount in your account. Okay, 50,000 plus 10,000, it is 60,000. Got it? So before how much you are having? 50k. Okay, later when it is transferred, 10k is added. Okay, total it is 60 now. Before transaction, my account is having 20k. Now in 20k, 10k I have transferred, 10,000 I have transferred. Okay, before my transaction it was 20,000, your amount was 50,000. 50 plus 20, it is 70,000. Okay, when I transfer 10,000 to you, so my amount is deducted. Okay, means 20 minus 10, it is 10 only. Then that 10 is added to your account. So 50 plus 10, it is 60. Now 60 is your, after the transaction, your balance, and my balance is only 10. Okay, 10 plus 60, again it is a 70. Before also it was 70,000, and after the transaction it is also a 70,000. So this property ensures that multiple transactions can, total amount after the transaction and before the transaction, it should be same. Then only we will call it as a consistency. Suppose inconsistency occurs, means in case the amount is transferred from my account, but you have not received it, then it is called as a inconsistency. See here now, before my transaction, how much it is? 20,000. Before transaction yours is 50,000, but total it is 70,000. 50 plus 20, 70,000. 10,000 is deducted from my account, but it is not added to yours account. Then what happens? Here it is 10,000. After the transaction, yours is again 50,000 only. 50 plus 10, it is 60. Before transaction, it was 70. After the transaction, it has become 60. Then it is called as inconsistency. It is called as inconsistency, or it is called as incomplete transaction. Okay, it means that transaction is failed. Transaction is failed. Got it? So this is what the consistency is. Any doubt in this? Soumya?
No, sir.
No doubt. Snehal and Leena?
No, sir.
No,
No
sir.
doubt. Okay. Then isolation. Isolation means multiple transaction occurs independently without interference. Means this property ensures that multiple transactions can occur concurrently without leading to the inconsistency of a database state. See here now, you are having the database, even bank is having the database. From one ATM you are withdrawing the money, from other account, from your account only, assume that from your account only, what you are doing, you are withdrawing the money from the ATM and simultaneously you are doing the online transaction also. See here now, from the same account, you are transferring the amount through PhonePe and you are withdrawing the money from the ATM. Okay, somebody is, or in your home, your brother or sister, what is they are doing? They are doing the online transaction also. Got it? So concurrently all the things are taking place, but without interference. There is no interference between the transactions. All of them are independent, they are isolated. Got it? So it will not going to affect anybody's transactions. Here also it is going simultaneously, there also it is going simultaneously, and it is also going concurrently. There all the transactions are taking place, but what happens? They are independent. They occurs independently. They are not going to interfere anybody's this thing. Got it? The transaction occurs independently without interfering. Changes occurs in a particular transaction will not be visible to any other transaction until committed. Until committed means once it is saved. Okay, committed means all the things, all the group of operations are done. Okay, then it will go to save. Finally, once it is committed, then only you can able to see the changes. In between you can't see. Okay, what is the amount there and in between and all? No. Okay, once it is done, then only you are able to see it. Okay, this is called as isolation. Then next one is durability. Durability means the changes of a successful transaction occurs even if the system failures occurs. See here now, means this property ensures that once the transaction has completed the execution, the updates and modifications to the database are stored and written to the disk. See, once the transaction is completed and whatever modifications, whatever you do, or updating the account, okay, or depositing or withdrawing, whatever you do, okay, so once it is saved, though it will be there for the longer time. Even if your ATM or your system got crashed, failed to work, then also it is there in the database. So you will be having the backup. You need not to worry about your transaction. Got it? So if you have deposited the amount in the particular bank, so if that bank is not working due to some crashes and all, okay, still the amount and the balance and all the transactions are safe in particular database. Got it? So durability, this property ensures that once the transaction has completed execution, the updates and modifications to the database are stored and written to the disk, and they persist even the system failure occurs. These updates are permanent and stored in a non-volatile memory. These will be stored in a permanent disk. Okay, somewhere. Okay, all the transactions will be there. So you can get all the transactions when you open the account until last after 10 years also. If you ask the bank manager, then they are able to give you what are the transactions you made through the bank, okay, from the ATM or online, etc. They are able to give you, because those things are saved permanently. This is called as durability. I hope This acid properties in database management system, it is one of the important characteristics. Hope you understood. Okay, is there any doubt in this? Sumaya and Ria?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Therefore, the acid properties in totally, if I tell you, provide a mechanism. This acid property in the database management, it will provide a mechanism to ensure correctness and consistency of a database in a way such that each transaction is a group of operation. Each transaction is a group of operation, that is nothing but a atomicity. Okay, that acts as a single unit. That acts as a single unit means it is an atomicity and produces the consistent result. Means consistent result means before and after there should be a same. Okay, that is called as consistency. And results and it acts in an isolation form from other operations, means they are independent and updates that makes are durable, means whatever you do the updates for your transactions, they are durable, means it is long lasting, so it will be there for a longer period. These are called as this is overall view of the acid properties. This is overall meaning of the acid properties. This is one of the important, see, atomicity in that commit and rollback, etc. will be there. About all these things we are going to study in detail while doing the practicals and all. Okay, those things we are going to do it. I think it is there in the 4th unit of your syllabus. Okay, there we are going to see in detail about that. Got it? It is just a trailer regarding the acid properties. This is very important while you are creating the database. Whenever you do the this thing, what is that? Creating the database for your projects and all, these acid properties plays very important role. Got it? Next. Characteristics of the database management system is multi-user and concurrent access. Multi-user and concurrent access means database management system which supports multi-user environment and allows them to access and manipulates the data in a parallel. Yes, already I have told about this. For the same database, see here now, if you take a banking system, they will be having their database. Simultaneously, we can do n number of transactions. Even from the same database, I am depositing the amount, somebody is transferring the amount and somebody is withdrawing the amount. Even if you take for your account only, okay, you are transferring amount from your account to your friend account, your brother is transferring or depositing some amount to your account, and your sister or parents, what they are doing, they are withdrawing the amount. See here, somebody is depositing, somebody is withdrawing, and you are transferring. See, simultaneously all the things are going on. So it is multi-user and concurrent access. So it is taking place parallelly, alright, without interfering. It is called as independent transactions. Though there are restrictions on transactions when user attempts to handle the same data item, but users are always unaware of them. So there are some transactions. Okay, so there are some restrictions but we will not be aware about those restrictions. Okay, so we need not to worry about that when the user attempts to handle the same data. Okay, so it means that restrictions means now your in the student database your name is there, in the course database there are n number of okay, courses like MSc, MCA and MBA, etc. Got it? In student database, student name, student register number, etc. and the course, in which course she is or he is doing. So assume that you are doing MCA course. Okay, it is added. So this in the course table and your course, here it is you treat it as a foreign key because it is referring from the course. There in that table, if you try to remove all the courses like MCA, you want to delete from the course table. In student table it is referred, but it is not possible because already it is been accessed from, it is linked with that table. So you cannot do it because it is having some restrictions, foreign key restrictions, primary key restrictions, etc. Got it? So you cannot do it. So for that you need to delete it first here and then go for deleting there. Those things again we're going to study in detail when we are doing the studying about those things, tables and etc. foreign keys later. Then next one is multiple views. See here now, this also I explained in yesterday's discussion. Multiple views means if you are having a student database, in that student database I am interested only in from the same database, only student. What is there in that? What are the attributes? Student number, student name, then date of birth and percentage and the contact number. See, I am interested in only name of the student and their percentages, and somebody is interested in their student name and date of birth, and somebody are interested in their name, university seat number, percentage and date of birth. See, from the database whatever we want we can view only those things. Okay, from the database I am interested in this view, he is interested in this view and he is interested in that view. Got it? So this is how we can able to generate the multiple views. Got it? So DBMS offers multiple views for different users. A user who is in the sales department will have the different views of database than the person working in the production department. The production department, he will want to see the things in different view. Okay, what he want to purchase, produce and all. But sales department, which stock is sold out and which is in the stock, etc., he will going to see it in different way. Okay, then production management people, they want to look it in the different way. Got it? They are getting different views. Okay, next is this multiple views feature enables the users to have a concentrate view of the database according to their requirements. As I told, as per our requirement, I want to see the views. We can able to generate the views. View is nothing but again it is a virtual, it is not actual, it is a virtual. Got it? That also we are going to see it in when we are discussing about the SQL. Got it? Yeah, about this. Next, security. Now we are discussing about this RIA. Security means your database management system has to give the complete security about the database. This security feature like a multiple views offer security to some extent. Features like multiple views offer security to some extent where users are unable to access the other data of other users and departments. See here now, as I told, I am belonging to AITM, then I am not able to see the data of other colleges. I cannot see it because that security has to be given. If I am able to see the anybody college, because I'm not the university people, got it? I am restricted to college. Okay, I am only able to see the students database of the AITM. KLE college people, they can see their students information. Then a GIT people can see only their information, but they cannot go for other college information. They cannot see other college students information. Got it? So this security has to be given. DBMS, database management system, offers method to impose constraint while entering the data into the database and retrieving the same at a later stages. See here now, we need to impose constraint while entering. Means, see, phone number is there in your database, you want to enter. Phone number means, mobile number means it should be 10 digits. If you are entering, what is that? 9 digits, it will not going to take. If you entered 11 digits, then also it will not going to take. This is the constraint. And some constraint like ages or date of birth. Your date of birth should be, for the student to take the admission in MCA, you must have how many years? Okay, so that much of the ages. So 10 plus 5, 15 plus 2, 17 plus 3, 20. So you must have minimum 17, so minimum 20 years or 19 years. So if you want to take admission for MCA, you must have this much of age. So date of birth should be on or before. Or if you are born today and is it possible to take the admission? No. So this is the constraint, you have to put it on the date attribute. Got it? Database management system offers many different levels of security features which enables the multiple users to have a different views with the different features. That day also I had told in the first day, I am a head of the department, I am having the complete overview, or I can able to see all your databases in the university, only RMCA students. But I cannot see BCS, MBA and B electronics or etc. other departments. I cannot see it. Only that level I am having. If you go for the principal, okay, principal can see CS department of AITM, mechanical department of AITM, MCA department of AITM, MBA department. He can see all the departments. Got it? If you go for university people, they can see any department information of the AITM, any department information of the KLE, any department information of the GIT or BLD, etc. Got it? So this is called as different levels of security features. So this is all about the security. This is all about the security. So your database management system has to provide this security in different levels. Therefore, these are all called characteristics of database management system. These are all called characteristics of database management system. So let me stop here only today, and tomorrow we'll discuss related to actors on the scene and workers behind the scene.